The ripple effect, trade policy, and small businesses. Introduction. Welcome to the ripple effect, where we explore how policies impact our economy beyond the surface level. Today, we're taking a closer look at how trade policies, like tariffs, trade agreements, and import-export regulations, shape the lives of small businesses, particularly those in areas where primary employers may not directly benefit from these protections. We'll break down the first, second, and third-order effects of these policies, highlighting both the benefits and challenges for small businesses that rely on global supply chains. Why do governments create trade policies? Trade policies are designed to protect key domestic industries that are often the backbone of local economies, such as steel and aluminum, agriculture, textiles, automotive, pharmaceutical, lumber, etc. By imposing tariffs on foreign imports, governments aim to shield these industries from foreign competition, stabilize jobs, and foster growth. This creates opportunities in regions where these primary industries are the main employers, places like Pennsylvania's steel towns or parts of the Midwest reliant on agriculture. In these areas, trade policies can provide a boost, ensuring that local industries remain competitive against cheaper foreign imports. But not all regions benefit equally. In locations where primary industries are not the focus of these protections, the ripple effects of these policies can be negative, particularly for small businesses that depend on global supply chains. While trade policies might support larger industries elsewhere, secondary businesses, such as retail, custom manufacturing, or service providers, often find themselves struggling with rising costs and reduced competitiveness as a result of these same policies. This creates a complex landscape where the benefits of trade policies for some can become challenges for others. First-order effects. Immediate impact. The most immediate effect of trade policies, particularly tariffs, is the increase in the cost of imported goods. For small businesses that rely on global supply chains, this can create a sudden and significant financial burden. In regions like Colorado Springs, where small businesses are often secondary to larger industries protected by trade policies, these costs can be crippling. Consider a business we'll call Peak Performance Bikes, a custom bike manufacturer in Colorado Springs that sources key materials like steel and aluminum, as well as finished parts from overseas. When tariffs are imposed on imported metals to protect domestic metal producers in other parts of the country, the price of these materials skyrockets for small businesses like Peak Performance Bikes. Unlike large companies, they don't have the buying power to negotiate better rates or the infrastructure to absorb these extra costs. They either have to increase prices, risking a loss of customers, or take a financial hit that shrinks already narrow profit margins. In this first-order stage, we see the direct impact. Small businesses in regions like Colorado Springs face rising costs with little protection or support from these trade policies. While the regions where these protected primary industries operate might benefit, other regions bear the brunt in the form of increased expenses. Second-order effects. Adjustments in the supply chain. As businesses like Peak Performance Bikes attempt to cope with the rising costs, the second-order effects begin to ripple through the economy. These small businesses are often forced to find alternative ways to maintain profitability. In many cases, this means seeking new suppliers, either domestically or from countries not subject to tariffs. However, this adjustment can be both expensive and disruptive. Switching suppliers means renegotiating contracts, possibly adjusting production processes, and testing new materials to ensure quality. This shift often results in delays, longer lead times, and higher overhead costs. For Peak Performance Bikes, moving away from their established overseas suppliers could mean turning to domestic suppliers. However, with tariffs benefiting large industries like steel and aluminum, domestic suppliers may also raise prices due to increased demand, leaving small businesses with limited options. In this phase, the ripple effects spread as these supply chain adjustments affect small businesses and their customers, suppliers, and regional economies. In regions like Colorado Springs, where small businesses are more likely to rely on global imports, the impact can be more severe than in areas where these policies directly protect the primary industries. Third-order effects. Long-term market shifts and competitiveness. The long-term consequences of trade policies reveal themselves in the third-order effects, where the competitive landscape for small businesses begins to shift. Larger corporations, often with more diversified supply chains and greater financial resources, can absorb the higher costs brought about by trade policies or negotiate more favorable terms. However, small businesses face much steeper challenges. For example, while a large bike manufacturer might have the flexibility to shift production to a country unaffected by trade policies or invest in automation to lower costs, small businesses like Peak Performance Bikes lack these resources. They may be forced to raise prices, but this could drive customers to more affordable alternatives from bigger brands that aren't as constrained by trade policies. Over time, this could erode market share and make it difficult for small businesses to stay competitive, leading to layoffs, reduced innovation, or even closures. Small businesses may face the unintended consequences of trade policies in regions where the protected primary industries, such as steel and aluminum, are not major employers. The protection granted to key industries in one area can lead to the decline of businesses in areas like Colorado Springs, where global supply chains play a critical role in keeping operations running smoothly. Conclusion: trade policies like tariffs, trade agreements, and import-export regulations are designed to protect key national industries that often serve as primary employers in certain regions. While these policies may create opportunities in places where these industries thrive, they can present significant challenges for small businesses in other areas where those industries aren't the dominant force. The ripple effects, from immediate cost increases to long-term shifts in competitiveness, often hit small businesses the hardest, particularly those dependent on global supply chains. Thanks for tuning in to The Ripple Effect. Join us next time as we explore the far-reaching consequences of another key policy.